Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Virtual Tavern, a podcast where we talk about all things sci-fi and fantasy. It's been a while.
It's been a hot minute.
Let's just rip off the Band-Aid now. I fucked up. Well, it's not really I fucked up. It's just we've been so busy, and I didn't want to say anything, and I'm still going to keep it very tight-lipped, but I am starting a new job, so that is for sure happening. That's all I'm going to say, because you guys will dox my ass and fuck it up for me.
We're with that recording might be a little bit more of a challenge. Sorry, guys, I didn't mean to
fuck the camera. Damn you!
So it's gonna be kind of experimental. You know, we're still gonna try to get episodes out, whatever. But he's gonna have a schedule that's similar more to mine, just a little offset. So, we might not be able to get as many episodes out as we have been, but we'll just play it by ear and figure out as we go.
Yes, I don't know my schedule yet, but we may or may not have to downscale our quota to one or two sci-fi Sunday and fantasy Fridays a month instead of every week. If we have to, bare minimum.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's what we would like to do, but that's what we have to do if that situation arises where our schedules do not line up in a very friendly manner.
Yeah. So we're gonna get content out to you guys. It just might be downscaled a little bit. So
yes.
Please forgive me.
But with that being said, thank you guys for being patient, for waiting for the next installment of Fantasy Friday. We are, as you guys know, covering The Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers. And this is going to be the last episode of The Two Towers. We're going to finish the last 25 to 30 minutes of film time in this episode.
I know, and I can't make 9/11 jokes anymore.
Oh my God. But
I still get to reference it.
But as you guys know, before we get into our content coverage, we like to do our house cleaning shit. It's where we do our plugs, our self plugs. We like to promote ourselves and everything. Talk about new things going on in our lives, our talking point recaps, and just a whole bunch of little fun shit before we dig deep into our meal, as we like to say. But while we were gone, I'm just going to start off with this. Emails. If you would like to send us an email, our email is contactvirtualtavern@gmail.com. It's linked in every episode. You can just copy and paste. But we would love to hear from you. So if you have a question on Lord of the Rings, Cyberpunk, whatever we're covering, or just anything in general, we would love to hear from you. We do have an email that came to us over our long hiatus during our 1-year episode coverage around there, right after we published that.
Oh.
So it's from Kevin. Your Kevin.
God, Kevin, what did you do?
I will not say the last name, so I don't dox you, but Kevin says, first off, congratulations on 1 year. You guys have come a long way from shitty quality and Hunter slowly slipping in an alcohol-induced stupor to better quality and beer burps. Next, Hunter, remember the time when I nailed your square in your dome with a water balloon at your birthday? Good times. Keep up the good work. P.S. The character I said Hunter looks like is the little tooth-snatching Gollum from Bloodsport. So that was a year ago when we
I remember that.
It's on our YouTube. I added a little photo of it. This is what Kevin said he looked like and everything.
And Kevin, to answer your question, I do remember getting smoked in the dome piece by a water balloon from way the fuck out there. I don't know how you managed to hit me, but yeah, thanks for that. I was 11. The what?
They did it on purpose.
Oh yeah, no, it hurt like a bitch.
I'm gonna get him.
I mean, Kevin, if you really want to talk about embarrassing moments, let's talk about when you stuffed me in a fucking cardboard dumpster. You fuck.
Oh, Jesus. But that is our emails. We would love to hear from you. Again, that email is contactvirtualtavern@gmail.com. While we were gone, also, we got another listener from another country, Hunter.
Oh, yay. I get to fail geography again.
There is no fucking way that you were going to get this one. I'm just letting you know right now it's hard. So I'm going to give you 5 guesses.
Zimbabwe.
No. You're not going to get it, so I'm just going to give you 5 guesses. So 4 more.
Do we have one from Brazil?
Yes.
We have one from Brazil? Okay.
That counts as a guess.
Australia.
No. Oh, fuck.
Yes!
Here comes the
Witch!
Mel, get in camera.
I
You ain't hiding. You're not hiding. It's gonna follow you.
No, Adam, you're showing the whole setup.
We're showing the whole setup.
Hi guys.
Oh, thank you. So Melanie just dropped off shots for us. But anyway, we will take our shot after you are done guessing. Thank you, Mel.
Thanks, Mel.
So you have 3 more guesses. You already guessed Australia. You already guessed Brazil.
Yep, and I know we have one from Germany already. Switzerland.
No. Wait, we already have...
Oh, we do have one for Switzerland, don't we?
No, we don't. It was Sweden.
That's right.
2 more guesses.
Iran.
No.
Fuck it, I'm just gonna stick with the theme. Pakistan.
The Republic of Lithuania.
Interesting. So I actually started getting around it.
Really?
Yeah, Israel, Pakistan, like
I have no idea where Lithuania is.
it's in the Middle East.
Really?
My brother was stationed there for a while.
What if it's your brother?
It couldn't be. I know where he's at.
Oh, that'd be funny if it just was your brother.
If it wasn't him, I think it'd be funny if it was one of the guys that was stationed with it.
Hey, that'd be awesome. So
That'd be cool.
whomever you are from the Republic of Lithuania, thank you for listening or watching. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Whenever we get a listener or a viewer from another country, I like to shout them out. So thank you, whomever you are. We're racking up the countries. There's like one more every episode. I love it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's nice to see the growth, not only with how many viewers or listeners we get a week, but with the increase in countries and stuff. It's nice.
Yes. Well, with that being said, let's go ahead and take our shots that my lovely wife airdropped to us. Holy fuck, babe. That was like half vodka. God damn. All right. So,
Pussy.
I know. I wasn't expecting it. So, anyway, with that being said, what other plugs do we like to do? Oh, our YouTube and our Spotify. So, obviously, we transitioned to a video podcast not too long ago. So, you're either watching this on YouTube or Spotify. So, it doesn't matter where you support us, but wherever you like, if you have Spotify Premium, you get no ads there. Listen to there, watch there. Awesome. But I would like for you guys to subscribe to our YouTube channel. It says Virtual Tavern, on YouTube. That way you can watch our old YouTube shorts. I want to get more made. And I keep saying that I want to get more made, but this last month has been so fucking crazy.
Yeah.
But
yeah, you've been busy dealing with your shit. I haven't had time to get caught up on trying to make my own versions of shit because, I've got the shorts and stuff that I'm trying to get caught up on for my channel too.
Yeah, I was like, where's my Dark Tide clip, you fucker?
I'm editing that episode today, so hopefully I will find that clip. If not, it'll be in the next session recording. But yeah, I'll find it today.
But yeah, we're on YouTube, we're on Spotify, wherever you want to support us, go ahead. If you have premium or YouTube premium, whatever it is. So, and then we're on a bunch of different sites. We're on Amazon Podcasts, whatever it is, Google. I don't think Google Podcasts is a thing anymore. I think it's now YouTube Podcasts. But we're on a bunch of shit. iHeartRadio. We're on Garage Box, I think it's called. We're on a bunch of shit. So wherever you support us, I can see it on our analytics. I love you guys. Mwah. And with that being said, Hunter, is there anything you want to promote or anything before we get into our Talking Point recaps?
Well, I don't remember if we mentioned the TikTok, but just in case we didn't, we do have a TikTok. I'm gonna be getting back on there, trying to get us picked back up. I've learned a few tricks from doing the shit for my YouTube gaming channel, so I'm gonna see if we can get that kind of picked back up by the algorithm.
Yes.
So if you guys want to check that out, that'll be virtual_tavern_podcast. It's very similar to the YouTube shorts that Adam makes. Well, it's a lot of the same content, it's just in a different, on a different platform. So if you prefer watching like short form on there, it'll be available to you. But if you're going to subscribe to really anything, YouTube would be your best place because that's where you're also going to get community updates if we happen to go on a hiatus unintentionally for like 2 weeks.
Yes, but thank you guys for being patient with that and everything. What was that? You're promoting your TikTok for your own gaming channel? What was?
No, just the TikTok for us.
Oh,
but
okay.
I mean, really, if you guys want to see some of my random bullshit that I do on my own. That'd be Creator 69 on YouTube, and I think it's just Creator on TikTok. It might still be 69. I can't remember.
Perfect. Well, that's another way you can support Hunter, Creator 69 on TikTok and YouTube. See, that keeps us, we're 10 minutes. So we like to keep our house cleaning shit under 10 minutes, you know, that way it's not taking up a big chunk of the episode. So last thing we do to cap off our house cleaning shit is our talking point recap. Now, for those of you that don't know, a talking point recap for us is an opportunity to reflect on the previous segment of whatever we're covering. Hunter, my talking point recap for you, and I know it's been a while since after saw, but the last episode was basically after the explosion of the Deeping Wall at Helm's Deep, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of that battle, there was a little bit of like Merry and Pippin with the Ents thrown in there, a tiny bit of Frodo and Sam with like the soldiers of Gondor sprinkled in there too. But what I want to ask you is, what was your favorite one-liner?
Oh, fuck.
Or just line of dialogue?
I don't remember if it was in last episode or not, but it would have been when the king was telling fucking... Oh, no, that would have been like 2 episodes ago. Because it would have been before the battle started.
Because he's like, look at my men.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's the first thing that comes to mind anytime I think of Helm's Deep.
The courage hangs by a fucking thread.
Okay, hold on. I know exactly what the one-liner is. You have to toss me. Toss me.
What?
Don't tell the elf. You'd have to toss me. Yes. That whole little fucking bit where he's just like scatting on the screen. That would be it.
Don't tell the elf. Not a word.
Yeetus. Yeetus. Deletus.
Yeetus, deletus.
Okay, so mine for you is, you know, they start retreating further and further into the keep, right? And eventually they get it to where everyone's holed in the main building.
Yeah, the keep.
Yeah. And someone points out, oh, there's there's a way to get out there. There's a secret exit.
Yeah.
Do you think that fuck, I can't remember his name. What the fuck's the king's name?
Theoden.
Thank you. Do you think King Theoden planned on them using that, or do you think he completely forgot about it and they just happened to discover, like, oh fuck, there's a fucking way out of here?
I think Theoden is so disassociated and such in shock that he's like, he can't process what's going on. He probably knows about the pass, but when Aragorn asks, like, is there no other way? He looks down and he's just like in his own world. Like, is this in Theoden's mind? He's not hearing everybody around him. It's like shell shock almost, right?
Yeah, it's like the fucking the scene from like Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah. That's what I was gonna reference, is like he can't focus on anything around him, right? Like his people are dying. He's in literally the last line of defense. He knows he's fucked. In his eyes, he's disappointed his forefathers before him and the previous kings of Gondor. He's like, is the kingdom of oh my god, I said Gondor. Is the kingdom of Rohan seriously going to end with me? I am a failure. I'm a fuck up. What did I do? That's just churning in his mind right now. He doesn't care about what other people are saying right now.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think he knew about it. He was just in like shell shock and everything.
That's kind of my theory on too, is that there's so much shit going on, and you know, he especially once you see all these elves come in, right? Like your fucking confidence gets boosted, and then you just watch them get fucking demolished.
Yeah, like there's easily like 400 or 500 elves, and they're supposed to be extremely good fighters.
Yeah, and they just got their fucking shit wrecked. So he's just sitting there like, oh my god.
It's like, this when you thought the elves were gonna save you and they die within 5 minutes.
Yeah, so that's what my thought was too, is that he was just so fucked up from the fight that like he might have known about it, but he couldn't focus to think strategically.
Yeah, just in pure shock.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, that is our talking point recap. Now we can go ahead and finish off the Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers with a bang.
Just do it nice and slow.
Just nice and
stroke
it real good. So we go back to Frodo and Sam. We haven't seen much of Frodo and Sam. And to be honest, I feel like The Two Towers is the movie in the trilogy where Frodo and Sam get the least amount of screen time.
Yeah, but I mean, in reality though, they're not really doing anything that needs the screen time.
No, like the most significant thing that happens to them is they capture Gollum and they get captured by the Rangers.
Yeah.
Really, that's it.
Pretty much, yeah. So like they didn't need a whole lot of screen time. They got a lot in the Fellowship.
Yeah.
So this makes it to where we could get a more like fleshed out feeling for the rest of the character.
Yeah. So Frodo and Sam, they're still at the Battle of Gileath. The forces of Gondor fighting the orcs, and there's the Fell Beast, which are rode by the Nazgul overhead. And Frodo senses them, and Frodo keeps every fucking turn. He tries to sabotage his own quest.
Yeah,
I swear to fucking God. He goes up this set of stairs, and he's like ready to give the ring to the Nazgul. I'm like, what are you doing? This is like the third time this film you've tried to sabotage us. You suck as a ring bearer. God. And then Sam pulls him aside, breaks him out of his trance or whatever. They roll down the stairs and Frodo's about to fucking kill him.
Yeah, he pulls his sword out, has it like pointed down at his chest, just staring at him like, you wanted my precious? You wanted my precious?
Yeah. Like one of the only times that he's ready to use his sword. Frodo hardly ever uses Sting in any of these films. Sam uses Sting more than Frodo does.
Isn't Sting also the blade that Bilbo uses during the Hobbit films?
Yeah, it was originally his blade.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, and then he gave it to Frodo in Rivendell with the mithril shirt.
Yeah, I couldn't remember if he got it then or if they had it give it to him later on, but I was pretty certain he got it with the mithril.
Yeah. And Sam is crying. He's like, don't you remember me? It's your Sam. Don't you remember Sam? Frodo breaks out of his trance and he's like, I can't do it, Sam. And Frodo's having this moment of weakness. And Sam is like, I know, by all rights, we shouldn't even be here. And we haven't really talked about it, but these are like two small beings in a war zone, man. It's like bringing two little fairies to D-Day. Like that's the equivalent of what's happening right now to two little hobbits, like two tiny little mythical creatures to a war zone.
Yeah,
like that's essentially what's happening here.
Yeah, we have fucking like Navi just flying around. Hey, listen! Hey, look, listen, everything's fine.
But Sam has one of the best speeches or monologues like in this whole trilogy of films right now. Sam is like, by all rights, we shouldn't even be here. And Frodo asks, I can't remember. He's like, how can we keep going on? Like, oh no, he's like, what are we holding on to, Sam? And Sam's like, that there's some good left in this world, Mr. Frodo, and it's worth fighting for. And it's like, he's talking about the heroes of old and like, how can we go on living when so much bad has happened?
Yeah.
And that one day goodness will come out and shine out the clearer. Like the good, the traditional good versus evil, like triumphing. And like, that's what Tolkien is all about, is like traditional fantasy of good versus overcoming great evil.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what Sam is monologuing about right now. That these are like the stories that stayed with us, that our fathers told us, and that we're living right now. That good can overcome evil.
Yeah.
And that there are heroes and that there is goodness in this world and it's worth fighting for. I just love this whole speech. I'm not going to read it verbatim right now, but god damn, honey.
I can't help it. That Monster Energy.
We're not promoting them. They're not sponsoring the podcast.
I know, but it was fucking funny to me. Okay, shut up.
If you do want to sponsor the podcast, my email is contact@virtualtavern@gmail.com for any fucking promotional advertisement offers that you want to have. Anyway.
Just have like underneath where you're like, we're not sponsored by them. Big ass asterisk. Like,
yeah. But during this montage, it's showing clips of the riders of Rohan, and they're actually fighting back and pushing back the Uruk-hai. So that whole charge by Gandalf and the rest of the riders of the Rohirrim,
yeah,
they've won that battle, and it's shown in a few little snippets. And then Faramir comes back, and he's listened to this whole conversation. He was like in the background jerking off, watching them, But he heard the whole conversation, right? And he's like, "Fuck, man, I can't give these two, tiny little people that have such heart and such devotion and strength to each other. I can't just give them my father. They'll be executed."
Yeah.
So Faramir risks his own life and he says, "Let them go." And one of Faramir's lieutenants, and I can't remember his name, but he fucking comes back in the third one for a little bit. One of the lieutenants says, "You cannot do that. It's the laws of our people. If you surrender them, your life is forfeit." And Faramir, in a great character moment, says, "Then it is forfeit." And he lets them go. And that's when we go to a little extended scene at Helm's Deep. I can kind of understand why this one was cut out.
Yeah.
So the remaining Uruk-hai, the heroes have won the battle, right? And the survivors are fleeing. And for some reason, the forest of Fangorn is just right fucking there.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. Like, all these trees just came out of fucking nowhere.
Yeah, because we get to see, like, when they're standing up on the wall and they're, like, looking out, like, the trees are nowhere to be fucking seen. Then all of a sudden, they're just like, boom,
yeah,
forest.
There's no trees for fucking at least 30 miles in any direction when you get those big wide shots.
Yeah.
But then now there's thousands or fucking hundreds of thousands of them. But it's supposed to show, like, oh, Fangorn Forest is fighting back and everything,
Yeah.
So
like, I get that it's supposed to be, kind of a, what's the fucking word? Cinematic storytelling, but or visual storytelling, but like, still, make it make sense.
Yeah, I can understand why that one was cut.
Yeah.
So it kills the remaining Uruk-hai. And then we go to probably one of the funniest scenes with Legolas and Gimli. Why this was cut out of the film, the base film, I have no fucking idea. This is hilarious.
Is this where they're doing the fucking count of their kills?
Yeah, so Legolas is like, final count, 42. And Gimli's like, oh, that's not bad for a pointy-eared elvish princeling. And he's smoking a peace pipe. I am happily sitting on number 43. And Legolas gets fucking pissed. He shoots his arrow at the dead Uruk-hai that's underneath him. He's like, 43. He was already dead. He twitched. He's twitched because he has my axe embedded in his nervous system.
I fucking love that line. And I didn't realize that was from an extended scene.
It was, yeah, it was like, it should have been in the fucking base film.
That should have been in the film because that's fucking gold. It's comedy fucking gold. He's twitching plus my axe and he's grabbing the fucking handle of it and shaking the fucking thing like, embedded in his nervous system.
And the Uruk-hai's like, But then we go to a scene with Merry and Pippin, and they're basically gloating, watching Saruman freak the fuck out in his tower. He's like, he's not having a good day, is he? No, I don't think so, Pip. And they're discovering food around, and everyone's like, where the fuck is all this food coming from? This is also an extended scene. And they're like, oh, lettuce, tomatoes, apples. It's like, ooh, piece of candy. Ooh, piece of candy. And they go and they find the storeroom, and there's a bunch of Longbottom leaf in there.
Yeah.
Like a big ass barrel of it, which it makes Saruman a fucking hypocrite.
How so?
So in the first film, when Gandalf, it says South Farthing Weed. Okay, so it wasn't Longbottom leaf, it's South Farthing Weed. But in the first film, when Gandalf goes to Saruman to tell him about the ring, he's like, your mind has clearly been slowed by the love of the halfling's leaf.
Oh, yes.
He's condescending. I'm like, motherfucker, here's your own personal fucking, food storage. You have a whole barrel of the shit. You shouldn't be talking.
Yeah, like, you like to get high just as much as fucking Gandalf does.
You fucking hypocrite.
And when you think about it, like, that makes sense for why, they start passing out Lambus bread. I think it was in the last film. And fucking Merry and Pippin are like, how many did you eat? I ate 4. They're able to eat so much because they're constantly fucking high. That's all they do. They smoke, they eat. They smoke, they eat.
Yeah, that's the Hobbit's pastime, is smoking and eating food and drinking.
Yeah.
They're little frat boys,
Oh, man, they remind me of a younger me.
Oh, geez. But we go back to Gondor and their fight for Osgiliath and everything. And Faramir, I believe, no, this one might have been in the base film, but he shows them like an underground sewer route that should like go under the river and onto the other side.
Yeah.
And that's where they'll continue their journey towards Mount Doom and everything. And Sam says that Faramir has shown his quality, sir. That Faramir has shown that he is a true and honorable man. And and he's like, I wish to visit the Shire someday where gardeners are held in such high honor. With Faramir's reply. It's a little bit of a funny one. But fucking as soon as the other hobbits leave, Faramir just grabs Gollum in a chokehold, is like, if any ill will should come to them, I will come hunting for you. He like threatens him.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't need them at home. Okay, fucking chill, bro. But he lets them go, and they go underneath the sewers and everything. And so we have Frodo, Sam, and Gollum. Now they're escaping Gondor and everything, going underneath the sewers. And then we go back to Helm's Deep with the survivors, and it's just, the main cast, right? So Gandalf, Theoden, Aragorn, Legolas, Gimli, all the fuckers.
We're the survivors, we're going to... So, as soon as you said survivors, that was going on in my head.
I hate you.
I couldn't be the only one to fucking hear it.
Much. But
Shut up, bitch, you love me.
Gandalf says, the battle for Helm's Deep is over. The battle for Middle Earth is about to begin. And I fucking love that scene because that got me super fucking hyped. Like, I want to watch Return of the King right fucking now.
Yeah.
Let's go.
It has so much fucking power packed behind it. Like, it's a simple statement, but fuck.
Yeah. And then we go back to Frodo, Sam, and Gollum. And they're in a small, little dead wooded area on the other side of the riverbank, kind of a few miles outside of Osgiliath.
Yeah.
And they're all talking and everything. Sam's basically, praising up Frodo. Like, I hope people will talk about us one day, kind of piggybacking off of his previous speech, talking about how maybe we'll be in a story one day of great evil versus fighting great good. I wish I could tell him about Frodo. Oh, Frodo was terribly brave, pretending he's talking to his kids and everything. And this gets a little weird. Like, Frodo's like, no, I want to hear more about Sam. Frodo wouldn't have got very far without Sam.
Yeah, this is kind of where I feel like... Did you ever watch Clerks 2?
No.
Okay, so in Clerks 2, I think his name might be Randy. The character that has the long blonde hair, I can't remember if that's Randy or not. He starts really bashing on Lord of the Rings because he's more of like a Star Wars guy, right? Like, it would have been me in high school. And he's like, oh yeah, we've got these two hobbits jerking each other off the whole fucking time. I feel like that's kind of where they're able to get that joke with, those two having some sort of more of an intimate relationship as opposed to like, boss or worker or indentured servitude, whatever.
The Peter Jackson films do kind of show it, like, they're not really hinting it, but they show like family affection, and they're not shy about like hiding it at all. Like brothers or father and son kind of relationship. I don't know what kind of they were going for, but
yeah. So like, if you wanted to bash it, they make it really easy and accessible to like. Yeah, see, and that's kind of like hinting towards it, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, really, it's all just based on perspective, but
and they gave the Rule 34 shipping community a lot of ammunition to use. Fucking
absolutely,
the kiss on the head of the Grey Havens, and the Frodo wouldn't have gotten very far without Sam.
Sam, it's white and sticky. What is it?
Oh Jesus,
come, Mr. Frodo.
But well, the whole time while Sam and Frodo are talking, Gollum's just fucking around. He's nearby, but he's hiding behind trees. And because of the traumatic events that have happened with the Gondorian Rangers, and also him feeling betrayed by Frodo,
yeah,
Gollum has come back. Like, the alternative personality that is Gollum has come back. He made him go away when they turned him to the good side for a little bit, because he feels betrayed, Gollum has come back. And now there are two fighting forces in Smeagol's mind. Smeagol versus Gollum. And he's like, no, Master didn't mean to betray us. We must kill him. Staple his dick to a wall. But
is this where is this next film where we get to see him like talk to himself, or did we already get to see that? I can't remember.
We saw this film
where he's staring into the water and you see the two personalities come out.
That's Return of the King.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, when he drops the rock into the puddle, it's like, and then the hobbit says will be dead. Drops the rock in the puddle, and then Sam is like, oh, motherfucker. But
son of a bitch.
Yeah, so Gollum is talking to himself. He's like trying to fight off the evil urges within him, and eventually the evil Gollum wins. And he says, we could let her do it. It's like, yes, no. And eventually Smeagol does agree, like, all right, these fuckers betrayed me. Let's get them.
Yeah.
And his plan now is to lead the hobbits into the cave of Smeagol, or not Smeagol, Shelob. And Shelob is this giant ass spider creature.
Yep.
And it's on the way towards the tower. So it's actually a perfect situation for a trap. Like, you're leading them to their objective that they want to go, but you can like fuck them along the way.
Yeah. Like, oh no, we got to take a slight detour.
Yeah. So that's his plan now. He's completely decided that, oh, okay, these fucking hobbits, they betrayed me. I'm going to kill them now.
Yeah.
He's gone back over to the dark side, which was one of our talking point recaps, I think. Like, if he wasn't betrayed, do you think he would have stayed good?
Yeah, and I think both of us had agreed that he would have been, able to recover.
Yeah.
And it was just that one little feeling of betrayal that made it to where he wasn't able to stay on that side. Because as soon as he thought that they had intentionally turned him, they turned against him, that's when he's just like, you know what? Fuck you guys.
Yeah. So this episode is actually going to be really fucking short because that's the end of the movie.
Yeah.
I thought we had at least 10 more minutes of like footage, but it's mostly credits, which I forgot.
Well, I mean, normally anytime we get to the end of a film too, we talk about like what we thought about the whole film in its entirety.
Yes, so let's go ahead and do that. Since we have a lot of spare time, we don't want to make it fucking a 30-minute episode. That'd be stupid. So
I know that. How insulting would that be? Like, hey, yeah, I know that we were gone for like 2.5 weeks.
We were gone for fucking ever. Here's a 30-minute, little tiny nibble.
Here's a little
Yeah, it's like, we're barely trying. Here you fucking go.
Fucking peasants.
So Hunter, out of the 3 films, Fellowship, Two Towers, and Return of the King, which one is your personal favorite?
Ooh. Now
that we're 2 films down.
Honestly, I'd probably say Return of the King. I really like the action that we get in Two Towers. Like, Helm's Deep is fucking awesome. It's in my opinion one of the best films in cinematic history.
Yeah.
Because we get all these big wide shots. We get to really feel the vast scale of that battle.
Yep. They did the scope of the battle really well.
Yeah. But Return of the King, because of all the cool shit that happens, like, as far as in terms of like video games, like Aragorn's quest line, like,
oh yeah,
that's fucking titty.
And I just can't wait to be king.
So yeah, I'd say Return of the King is my favorite out of the 3.
Okay.
Now, if you're talking about The Hobbit, my favorite would actually probably be the first one.
The first Hobbit is the best. You know what? That's funny that you mentioned that, because not too long ago, a couple weeks at work when I was on graveyard shift, I'm just like, fuck it, I'm so bored. I need to stay awake. I was like, all right, I'm going to download the Hobbit series. And throughout that week, whenever I had a minute or two, just doing nothing, I would watch them. And I realized that the first Hobbit is the one that stands the test of time the most. That is the most watchable and it feels like the most complete product.
Yeah.
The Desolation of Smaug, where there are some cool moments in it, drags out a lot. And it doesn't feel like there gets anything done. And when it gets going and it gets good, like the dragons, the dragon's about to attack Lake Town. It's like, no, what the fuck are you doing? You're fading to black, and then people had to wait a whole year.
Yeah,
it's like, you motherfuckers. And then the Battle of the 5 Armies, I've already beaten this fucking film to a dead pulp. But just talking about the CGI, it's really horrible to look at. It hurts my eyes to watch.
Yeah. It's
very distracting with all the fucking sun glares. CGI is bad. The armies are cloned to hell to where you can notice. I'm not saying the Lord of the Rings is perfect. They obviously use techniques to clone soldiers to make these big battles and, fill in gaps, because it's only like 30 or 40 actors, but you got to fill in space to make it look like there's 1,000 people charging.
Yeah, you have to make it to where it looks believable. Like, you don't want to have it where it's, oh wow, look, there's a squad that's headed up to go fucking fight these 4 dudes.
Yeah, but they did it intelligently, and they hit it in very intelligent ways to where you wouldn't notice as the audience. In The Hobbit, it's very blatant. It's literally just control, copy, control, paste. Control, copy, control, paste.
Yeah.
It's like you're playing Ultimate Epic Battle Simulator and you just spawn fucking 1,000 elves. That's what it feels like.
Yeah, and I feel like, because these movies were obviously, they were written and based off of one book. When it comes to the Hobbit films, like, don't get me wrong, like, obviously, like I've said it many times before, The Hobbit's what got me into Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Um, those have so much filler packed into them because it was a single book that they wanted to stretch into a trilogy just because that's what happened with the rest of them. Honestly, I
Yep.
feel like if they would have just been able to compile that book into its own movie, um, the film would have been far more successful, and they
Yep.
would have made way more fucking money on it than they did throughout that entire trilogy. Because
Yep.
like, they're having to spend so much money on each of those fucking the production of each of those films, and it didn't. I don't feel like it really paid off for them.
Yeah, the studio and the execs that were in charge of that definitely got greedy. They saw the billions of dollars. I think the Lord of the Rings grossed billions of dollars in entire runtime, and it won fucking like every Oscar known to man.
Yeah,
So they were insane successes. They're like, oh, how can we do this again? So they have one book, like you said, but like, oh, let's turn this into a trilogy though. We can really fucking milk that shit. Does it make sense? No. Will it make us money? Yes.
yeah, dude. Honestly, it's kind of very similar to Rockstar with fucking GTA 5. Like,
Oh, geez.
oh, let's see how far I can stretch this game. What is it now? 12 years? 13 years?
Yeah.
And they're still just adding shit.
3 console generations.
Yeah.
With one game.
Yeah, fuck, because it started on the 360 and PS3.
Yep.
Oh, man. But yeah, fucking, I feel like it would have been much better if they would have just, like, had that be its own film. It would have been more fleshed out.
I think part 1 and part 2, one film, kind of. Like, you can't have a fucking 4.5 hour film in theaters. People are going to lose their attention. It's unrealistic, but a one large film cut into 2 halves, I feel like that would have been a better sell.
Yeah, that would have been kind of like fucking Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows.
Yeah. Well, that was done to make money. Every fucking trilogy or series that was out during that time, fucking Twilight, the Hunger Games, fucking Harry Potter, all of them did that shit. They get to their last film and they're like, oh, how can we cash out one more check? They make the last film a 2-parter.
I feel like if I remember right, that last book is fucking long.
It is long, but
like, I mean, they probably could have made it so that way it would have just been an even 7, but I don't know. It's been too long since I've seen both films to really remember if they put a shit ton of filler in there for it or not. It's also been way too long since I've read the books. I haven't read the book since we were in like 6th grade.
Well, to reel it back to Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, what's your favorite moment in this movie as a whole?
Ooh. I have 2 that come to mind.
Okay.
And actually, we discussed one for the talking point recap, and that's just when Gimli asks to get fucking tossed. He throws him onto the fucking bridge like a goddamn bowling ball, and then you just see all the bodies start fucking falling off to the sides.
Yeah.
The other would be when we get to see Gandalf basically exercise the demon.
Oh, when he exercises Theoden King.
Yeah, like that whole fucking scene to me is just, it's funny as shit.
Yeah.
You wouldn't take up an old man's walking stick, would you?
Yeah, I'm pretty nostalgic for The Two Towers, mainly because it's one of the first PS2 games I ever got alongside Jack and Daxter.
Yeah.
It was Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, like the movie tie-along video game, which, if you haven't, the movie tie-along video games for The Two Towers and Return of the King for the Lord of the Rings franchise are fucking really good, actually. Movie tie-in games or movie license games have a notorious reputation for being cash-grabby pieces of garbage. Like Iron Man, or the Thor game, or just other movie tie-in games.
I didn't know either of those were a thing.
Yeah, so they have a notorious reputation for being shit. But these ones were when EA actually fucking tried and cooked. When it's surprisingly published by EA, but it's a really good fucking game because this was back in the day before they became really fucking scummy.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you ever played them, but for the PS2, Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers.
I never played them. I know that you and David played Battle for Middle Earth quite a bit when we were in high school.
Oh, that was the RTS, which is also really good. But this is more older than that game. It's the PS2 generation.
Yeah.
You can play as Aragorn, Gimli, Legolas, Gandalf, and I think there was a secret character you could play. But it's kind of like a God of War hack and slash kind of game. It was really fucking good. And you go to different locations in Middle Earth, and it shows like clips from the movies to accompany like big cinematic scenes.
That's cool.
So it was a really awesome game. But I love the Two Towers. Admittedly, I still have a soft spot for the Return of the King, you know, just because so much shit happens in that. And it's the culmination of so many quest lines and like personal storylines.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like, you know, it's the last film in the series, so it's going to be where almost all of your climaxes are.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a lot of like kind of nostalgic feeling. It's like, oh yeah, I remember when they first started talking about that in the first movie, or they mentioned this in the last one, this and that. But for me, like getting to see what Aragorn's really capable of, like seeing that character change in him is just so fucking awesome. Like, that's one of the reasons I like it so much.
And I think the Two Towers, in my opinion, still holds the crown for the best battle in the trilogy.
Yeah.
As much as I love the scope of the Return of the King, like hundreds of thousands of orcs attacking this fucking city fortress, the Helm's Deep, even though it's only 10,000 versus, I don't know, maybe 1,000 defenders, it's still cinematic, and you can get a good idea of like the flow of the battle. There's moments where the good guys are winning, and then it reels back to the bad guys winning. There's hope, there's despair, all these emotions going all over the place. Awesome moments of redemption, and like, oh shit, maybe we can win this. Oh shit, no, we're fucked. You know, it goes back so many ways. It ebbs and flows. It's a great fucking battle.
Yeah, no, I can agree with you on that. Like the whole feeling behind the Battle of Helm's Deep is it's a fight that's in its own like almost in its own category, you know what I mean? Like it's just done so fucking well that as soon as it starts, you're immediately fucking sucked into it.
Yeah. Well, I don't think there's anything else that we can say about the Two Towers. I mean, we love this film. We could stay here for fucking another hour just talking about our favorite moments, you know. But you've seen the fucking videos that we recorded, you know. You know what we think about this film, all the moments that we watched through this film, the scene by scenes, you know, the fucking our favorite moments. So let's just go ahead and Hunter, what is your final impression of the Two Towers? Like, if you were to take away one thing from this film in comparison to the other films, like, what do you think makes it stand out the most?
What makes it stand out the most for me is that we get more background on like the supporting characters, like rather than just it being solely focused on Frodo and his journey. We get a lot more lore and background information.
That's true.
Than, you know, really either of the other two films, because even though like this next film coming up, like a lot of it's kind of centered on Aragorn and Frodo.
Yeah.
Like this made it to where we got to see a whole lot fucking more, because we got to focus on Merry and Pippin quite a bit while they were doing their own thing.
Yeah.
Obviously fucking Gandalf came back, and we got to learn more about like how the wizards and shit work. Fireball, motherfuckers! Yeah, no, I just feel like it helps flesh out a lot of the characters. So for me, like, that's kind of the thing that stands out the most.
Yeah, we got some good character development for Merry and Pippin too, I think.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, they went from being these very childish little creatures to thinking more about like the grand scheme of things. Like, they're able to see the big picture.
Yeah, Merry, who starts off just like Pippin, you know, a reckless scoundrel just causing mayhem, to like, holy shit, he actually cares about something bigger than himself. He wants to fight with the Ents.
Yeah.
Like, that's good character development, in my opinion.
Oh, absolutely.
And we got to meet Theoden, and then in the short amount of time that we get with Theoden, you get a good idea of the kind of person he is, the kind of darkness that is inside of him. Like, darkness.
Me.
But he's a good example of a flawed character that makes it interesting and dynamic, right? He's a good king, but he has weaknesses. He's very prideful. He's arrogant. He wants so badly to impress his forefathers that he's willing to be blind to certain tactical fucking things he needs to be aware of.
Yeah.
He wants to go out in a blaze of glory. He's ignorant to new information that's presented to him. Like, Gimli's like saying, dude, these Uruk-hai, they are heavily armored. they're not like any orc rabble you fought before. They will tear this bitch down. They have heavy armor. Their technology is beyond anything you've ever seen. They're gonna scale these fucking walls. They're gonna blow up the wall. Like, you need to listen. These guys are not gonna fuck around. And Theoden is like, I fought many wars, Master Dwarf. I know how to defend my own keep. You know,
like, cool. We're just gonna die here, then, bro.
I tried. Fucker doesn't want to listen.
You know what? You're gonna fuck around and find out, asshole. That's what you're gonna find out.
But Theoden, I love him. He's a great character. You know, one of my top favorites in the whole trilogy. Just, he's flawed, but in a realistic and interesting way. He's not a bad person. He just has flaws, which makes him more interesting.
Yeah, it makes him human.
Exactly. You know, he's just not like a goody two shoes that's perfect in every way. It makes it more interesting and dynamic that way.
Yeah, I agree.
But other than that, and also the introduction of Rohan too. We forgot to mention, like, we got to meet a whole ass new faction in this fucking film.
Yeah. We got to see like a whole new fucking and a whole new aspect. Like, we got to meet the people of Rohan. We got to meet the fucking Rangers and shit. Like,
that's true. We got to see Gondor for the first time.
Yeah.
We got to see 2 new factions, actually.
I mean, really, if you count the fucking elephant people, we had 3.
Well, we saw those elven, not them in the big elvish armor.
No, not elven. The people that had the fucking elephants and shit.
Oh, I get them mixed up. They're either the Haradrim or the Easterlings. They're one of the two. I get them mixed up.
Yeah, but we got to see, you know, while they are similar to people that we saw in I think it's the first movie that we get to see them in.
Yeah. So technically, we got to see 4 new factions.
Yeah. Like,
fuck.
There's a lot of different things getting thrown at us. Like, they not only brought out the like lore and shit for the characters that we're following, but they're also introducing more shit to really, like, again, flesh out the world. So that way, like, you have a better understanding as to really what all is out there.
That's
as opposed
true.
to just like, there's man, there's dwarves, there's elves, and there's fucking wizards.
Yeah, the world is fleshed out. Each race and each faction has their own history and, you know, characteristics to it.
Yeah, like, you get to see various different types of, like, races and cultures and things, which I think is really cool that they were able to jam pack all of that information in with all the action that we saw.
Yeah.
And not have it to where it feels like it's just overly done.
Well, I think this is a good moment to close out our Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers coverage, unless you have anything you want to slide in at the very end, Hunter.
Not that I can think of, no.
All right, then with that being said, we will catch you guys on the next Fantasy Friday, where we begin our Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King coverage. And it's a shame that they never made any other Lord of the Rings films after that, you know, or TV series, you know.
Ooh.
You know,
no, I mean, there's definitely a movie series that I heard of.
No, I think it was canceled.
Nope, definitely not
We're
canceled.
Not talking about it. Bye. No. With that being said, my name is Adam Edgar.
I'm Hunter Chambliss.
And we will catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.
Bye.